TIL Johnny Knoxville turned down a spot on SNL. SNL saw a demo tape of his show Jackass and offered him a spot on the show. However, he turned it down because he wanted to work with his friends and have full control of his work. If an SNL actor does a character 2+ times, the company then owns the rights to that character. That leaves little room for exploring a self-created characters. I can understand why he turned it down. Probably worked out best for everyone. Stylistically not a good fit. I met Johnny Knoxville and Bam Margera at my old apartment complex in Florida. There was this apartment that had a back patio that was full of what I thought at the time were big-ass cardboard boxes, and I always wondered what was going on there. So one day soon after Christmas, I'm riding my brand new mountain bike behind the apartment buildings by myself, and I see two guys standing by the lake right outside of the apartment that was filled with boxes. I was riding closer to them, and when they saw me they called me over. I rode my bike over to them, and there was Johnny Knoxville standing with this curly-haired guy who I didn't know or recognize. Bam Margera, Knoxville was holding a camera, and I recognized him right away wearing those big-ass aviators. Jackass had just started airing on MTV. When I got close enough he introduced himself and I was kind of shocked. He asked if I knew who he was, and I nervously shook my head yes, like a shocked/nervous 10-year-old would. I guess I was starstruck. So after he introduced himself and I looked like a deer caught in headlights, he just straight up asked me if they could use my new bike to ride it straight into the lake. It was a grassy backyard area behind the apartment that had a good size hill running straight into the lake. This lake was a man-made lake that had a ton of big-ass rocks in it that would clearly fuck up a bike or them if they rode straight into the water from the top of the hill. I literally had no idea what to do. If I gave them my bike, I probably would have had to explain to my parents why my new bike wasn't so new anymore. If I didn't, I'd always think about what if I did. Well, here I am sitting here still wondering. TLDR, met Johnny Knoxville behind my apartment complex. He was with Bam Margera, and he asked me if they could use my bike to ride it straight into the lake behind the complex. I said no and regret it until this day. Quite a few people have turned down SNL for a variety of reasons, like Mindy Kaling and John Candy. Ben Stiller and Damon Wayans were on the show for a few episodes each, and both left because they thought the show was squandering their potential. Being on SNL is like climbing Everest. It sounds like the ultimate achievement, but from people in the industry there's a lot of negatives that come with it. That's not to say it's a complete waste of time, it's just not the right fit for everyone. Johnny Knoxville didn't climb Everest, but he climbed his own mountain by his own rule and with his own friends, and that's just as important to him. I learned the shit from Master P. If anybody is ever tripping over themselves to offer you something, consider the value you actually have. Can't find the link at the moment, but the story goes that him and his brother flew out to meet with an executive of a record label. Master P and his brother had less than $1,000 between the two of them. Long story short, the guy offers them a $1 million check. Master P declines. The guy says, "You should take this or you'll never get anywhere." Master P walks out. On the plane home, his brother is furious. Eventually Master P says, "Think about it. If that guy was so ready to offer us $1 million, how much do you think we're worth?" Edit. Here is one of the times he's told the story. https://youtube.b/9dz9gy1kiea, t equals 32525 to about 7:15. Some people just know they can't work for others. Johnny would have been fired in season 1. He turned it down because he enjoyed making people laugh. He would have been terrible on SNL. Half of the laughs on Jackass are due to the chemistry between the cast. People love watching the stunts and pranks, but it is taken to a new level because people enjoy watching this particular group of people. Good call. I worked as the remote director of photography of SNL in the late 90s and shot a bunch of theater skits. It was anything but fun. Way too many chefs in the kitchen, super stressful set. He would have had no say in what was going on. There would be a small army of executive producers, directors, producers, writers, etc. etc. of people circled around monitors telling him what was funny. Hard to do funny by committee. I know for me personally I have laughed way longer and harder at Jackass than SNL. Johnny Knoxville is a national treasure and an American hero. And yet Jackass crews were so hilarious every time they appeared on MADV, no way SNL would so Oprah and Kenny Roger Jackass skits. He made the correct choice. Maybe his dick wouldn't be so busted up though. SNL pays relative shit for most cast members. Does a pratfall and takes out the saxophonist. Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to SNL. Asterisk Corona intro plays. The sheer brass boobs on that lad. Say what you want, but I want to live in a timeline where Johnny Knoxville was on SNL and turned it around. Then he left to do more movies and it went to shit again. What would that even have looked like? Would he have done his stunts as cutaways the way Andy Samberg did tons of digital shorts but appeared in relatively few live sketches? And because SNL is a steaming pile of garbage, smart, SNL isn't funny anyway. He was smart enough to not bust his ass carrying that dead show. Definitely not worth it for him. It's obvious he made the right decision. NGL, I had no idea Johnny Knoxville was so dedicated to artistic integrity. This is the guy who hosted a show with a segment where his best friend kicked his dad's ass all day. Is Butterbean okay? I heard of Johnny Knoxville long before I heard of SNL. Good SNL would have butchered any success Knoxville had. SLN piked in the 80s and 90s, never came to that after. Knoxville isn't funny in the conventional sense. The stuff that gets chuckles are the stupid pranks and his ability to sustain incredible pain. Guaranteed the SNL staff saw a pretty face and they thought they could coax him along through the system. I feel like Johnny Knoxville would have been like a coked up Pete Davidson. SNL was desperate and they have added folks who are hilarious on their own but don't work well in the SNL setup. Knoxville would have fizzled on it, though he might have not broken so many bones. Is that Jennifer Aniston or Kristen Wiig in the thumbnail? Reminds me of the story of the lady who wrote that Tina Fey sketch about the brownie boyfriend. It was her first year writing for SNL and it was her dream job. All season she was stressing about her ideas not being accepted. Then she hit it big with that bit. And when they invited her back she realized it wasn't for her and turned them down. SNL sucks anyway. Maybe he did a good job acting. SNL could use him now. The show has one good episode per season for the past couple of years, probably because he saw how shitty SNL became as well. Smart move. SNL sounds like one of the most toxic work environments I've ever even heard of. And that's why we love Johnny Knox. He made the right choice Imo. Johnny Knoxville scratched my CD. It was actually mostly about SNL's strict no wasabi snorting policy. Man wanted to do drugs, get wrecked, and do pseudo-gay stuff with his friends, strongman contest with a dildo as the ringer, friends sit on top with pants down as the bell, LMAO. I respect that. I see some people saying he wouldn't be a good SNL fit because he isn't funny or he does more physical comedy. Maybe. Maybe. Then again, I'd refer those people to the skits where he pretended to be an old guy. I say I'm not surprised SNL reached out, and no matter what he chose dude would have knocked it out the park. He's actually pretty fucking funny and out of the entire group of friends Knoxville was easily one of the most well-adjusted / normal human beings. He chose to be a goofball and have a blast with friends, but I can see him fitting in well enough on SNL.